See the lovely golden light the midnight sun provides. Having so much daylight certainly makes sightseeing perfect. Here is the famous ring road completed in 1974, Iceland's single main highway. There are lesser roads as well, but it is generally inadvisable to take the road less traveled here, especially the F roads. F roads are mostly unpaved, prone to rock slides, avalanches, earthquakes, etc. This wild geranium was in a field at the base of this waterfall. Some of the healthiest dandelions I've ever seen grow here. The original settlers made turf houses. The marsh marigold, actually a buttercup, is a welcome sign of spring. Black flies are the most common pollinators in Iceland. Honeybees aren't native here. Some beekeepers import them from Denmark, but it's challenging to overwinter the hive successfully. This cliff resembles a nose. Nearby, I saw some member of the carrot family, perhaps cow parsley. This kind of fern grows all over Iceland. Roseroot is a succulent which sheep find quite delicious. A cuckoo flower hiding in some big leaves. A tree growing in the wild is a rare sight. With few exceptions, people plant in most of the trees one sees in Iceland today. Here it is more common to see trees fenced in than animals. The lush growth almost covering this rock shows that an Arctic spring can be exuberant. Here's Burfell Mountain, a subglacial volcanic cone. Barely visible in the landscape is a water avens plant, a member of the rose family. This crater lake, noted for its red volcanic soil, has a handy hiking path around its rim. Close-up of a woolly willow, it comes with its own fur coat. This bird was hiding behind the bush. I spotted it by chance in another photo I had taken. Notice the purple buds in amongst the grass. On the left, bearberry blooming in South Iceland. On the right, it's just starting to bud in the north. Thingvellir National Park, well worth the side trip we took. This lupin from Alaska was brought here to enrich poor soil. However, now these plants are threatening to take over the landscape and crowd out native plants. Notice this cute little church built in 1914. These are two varieties of horsetail we saw in Iceland. Another name for them is puzzle grass, but they aren't really grasses. They reproduce by means of spores, not pollen. Silverweed is another member of the rose family. This is the same species of heather that grows in Scotland. Lovely stand of spruce at this lake. More Sitka spruce, also some lodgepole pines. Viking law speakers passed judgments and settled disputes here in this natural outdoor courtroom. Thingvellir is the only place on Earth one can walk the mid-Atlantic ridge dry shod. Everywhere else, it is below the ocean. Common butterwort is a perennial carnivorous plant. Since it supplements its diet with bugs, butterwort requires very little soil and can live in extremely hostile environments. This plant thrives on rocky ground. Northern Iceland is well worth visiting. Just a side note, Vik, Vik means harbor. And Makariri, the highway parallels the ford. It is a lovely straightaway, ideal for speed trapping unwary tourists, which is what happened to us. Although we were new to the area, the police gave us a ticket, not just a warning. View of Shaky Bay, which links the Denmark Strait on the Greenland Sea. Husavik is only 36 miles from the Arctic Circle. You really feel you are at the edge of the world here. Red campion has such a vibrant color. It is hard to see individual leaves, but the shape of this large spreading shrub looks like the tea-leaf willow. Once again, the golden glow is from the midnight sun, which warms the scene, in contrast with the cooler daylight. Witch willow. I thought this willow was a variant of the woolly willow, given the fuzziness of its leaves. However, it is much taller and more tree-like than the woolly willow. Fish drying racks located right outside Husavik. In the late summer, Icelanders still use these to dry cod or haddock in the traditional manner. Pseudo-craters weren't formed by venting lava, but by lava coming into contact with water and exploding. Warning: Lake Mavaten means midge lake. These midges didn't bite, but they certainly got in our eyes. The height of these pillars shows the maximum thickness of the lava flow. Violet is also very common in North America. Right near it is hoary whitlow grass, a member of the mustard family. Moss campion brightens an otherwise bleak lava landscape, also called compass plant, because the buds on the south side of the plant bloom first. Mountain avens, another member of the rose family. On the left is a branching lichen. On the right is a crustose lichen. The vivid yellow-orange color warns of poison. Iceland has over 700 types of lichen. Timu Borger means dark castles. These are awe-inspiring lava pillars. In this dark place, I found a dark plant. The almost black stems mark this Antarctic mouse ear. We lunched at the Cowshed Cafe. Only a glass wall separates cows from diners. My potato tasted much better than it looked. The char, a fish related to salmon, was tasty. The lava bread, steamed bread, underneath the fish was excellent. No swimming allowed. This lagoon has extremely dangerous hot spots well above the boiling point, 266 degrees Fahrenheit. Sheep sorrel, a member of the buckwheat family, grows happily by this highly acidic sulfurous lagoon. Cotton grass is a common Arctic plant. Vikings used these cottony tufts for wicks in their fish oil lamps. Bjarnar Flag Geothermal Station is the smallest, if not the oldest, power station in Iceland. It began operating in March of 1969. It currently provides heating for the Mavaten Nature Baths, a short distance down the road. Take a closer look at this lava field. See wild thyme thriving in this geothermal soil. We took the safari ferry from Dalvik to reach Grimsey Island at the Arctic Circle. Satellite maps of Grimsey from Google Earth. Picture of the ferry. On the ferry going towards Grimsey Island, carrying Coca-Cola as cargo. On the way back, the ferry carries fish. Located right on the harbor, this little house has a gift shop and reasonably priced public restrooms. Scurvy grass, a member of the mustard family, is an extremely hardy plant. It is found on sea cliffs where other plants won't grow. It is an excellent source of vitamin C, good for preventing scurvy. Vikings gathered this plant as a crucial part of their diet since they didn't grow many vegetables. The sea mayweed is a type of daisy. Another name for it is Balder's eyelashes. Snow buntings arrive in the Arctic in the spring. The males come in early April to claim the best sites. The females come about a month later. These are cold-hardy birds that winterize in such places as southern Canada and Michigan. Sheep are extremely common in Iceland. We even saw some on Grimsey, where they may well have outnumbered the 90 or so human inhabitants. Rhubarb growing just south of the Arctic Circle. We are standing at the Arctic Circle. Like scurvy grass, the cuckoo flower is also a member of the mustard family. Sea thrift growing on Grimsey. The lighter pink one was near the dock, while the purplish pink one was on the airfield. This Atlantic puffin is looking out across the Greenland Sea. Lovely view of the sea from the ferry. Here is a map of Snowfell's Peninsula. Work on the map was done by Maximilian Dorbecker. In this gorge near the village of Arnarstapi, some of the tiny white specks are gulls and some are flowers. My hot cocoa was just right, as was Dawn's coffee. The carrot cake was scrumptious and practically guilt-free since we had a hike ahead of us. Notice the tree windbreak behind the signs. In the far background, see Mount Snuffles covered with mist. Jules Verne wrote Journey to the Center of the Earth, a travel adventure which popularized Iceland. Notice the lava flow making a ridge in the terrain. Trailing azalea is technically a sub-shrub, but this shrub requires no pruning. Here's a closer view of the same lava fold. This formation provides a natural shelter for crowberries along with other kinds of berries. Nearby, we also found bilberries, a close relative of the blueberry. Icelanders still make up berrying parties every fall to gather them, as their Viking ancestors did. In case you ever wondered, when Vikings weren't raiding, they were burying. One way to tell the bog bilberry apart from the regular bilberry is by the shape of its blooms. Bog bilberry blooms are more cylindrical, while bilberry blooms are more circular, like a pencil skirt versus a hoop skirt. Here is one of the many varieties of lady's mantle found in Iceland. This light green moss goes on for miles, blanketing lava fields all over Iceland. Saxhall is a cinder cone volcano. Growing near these metal stairs was a sea campion. Sometimes flies can get trapped inside its blooms. However, scientists don't think it's a carnivorous plant. Snuffles is a shield volcano, much too wide to capture in a single photo. Here's a menu board at the local gas station convenience store. Coffee was excellent, but no decaf, and it only came in a single size, small. Groceries are anything but cheap. Most of the canned goods are imported. The whole time I was in Iceland, I never saw anything advertised as buy one, get one free. Helner Church was built in 1945. This plant was growing right beside the church parking lot. We found northern oak fern carpeting this riverbank. This waterfall is near the mouth of the Snuffles Peninsula. One of the many varieties of lady's mantle covering a riverbank. Waiting for our flight at the Keflavik airport, we saw this woolen waterfall.